again to lift up truth, to invoke our affirmative prayers, and to meditate on something greater. Because God is always greater, new every morning. So I thank you for joining us, that we can come together, pray, and vision. When we first began, I want to say 5-6 years ago, with prayer and visioning every Wednesday from noon to 12:30, 12:45. We began with prayer, affirming the truth about ourselves, about our families, about our communities, about our cities, our state, our country, our world, our government, our hospitals, our schools, our youth. So we just wanted to encircle and pray over everything that we're involved in as a people and that we're concerned with as God's children. And then after a couple years of praying and visioning, things kind of kicked up. And so we just did prayer for about 2 or 3 years, where it was just nothing about prayer and building our spiritual muscles. Little did we know that we did prayer. We visioned, but we didn't talk about it like we did in the beginning. And so we did prayer because prayer was preparing us for what's going on right now. So as we come together on this wonderful Wednesday, let us just take a deep breath. And I mean truly breathing, not anticipating anything further than your right now, your breath in God right now. And then remembering that when we inhale deeply, we are cleansing, oxygenating the body. And when we exhale, we are releasing. And that fills us with a calm, a peace. Breathing is so important because we're breathing the breath of life, of God, our Creator, our Father. Take a deep breath. So when we come together in prayer, it is a communion between the woman, the man, and God. We are connecting. We are touching the hem of the garment of desire, of need, of dreams. Think about that. In prayer, I am not begging or beseeching. I am communing with my Creator. I am connecting. I am making that call. God, hello. It's me. So the healing that I need when I say it's me, we don't need to say anything else. It's me, oh Lord. I am in need. I need to feel your presence right now in my body, in my affairs, in my relationships, in my ministry, in my service, the place where I work. Help me to see you. So our prayer is just simply communing, connecting, making that call, that connection that allows us to affirmatively speak our word. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, what we contemplate, we become. Emma Curtis Hopkins says, we must seek that which is constantly saying, behold me. Spirit is always moving through us, and we know this by our heart beating, by our ability to breathe, to see, to taste, to smell, to hear, to move our limbs. And sometimes it may not move as fast as you want, but we're able to move. There is the mind of God that's within this body temple. Breathe. And if our heart is beating without our assistance, it's just sitting in this chest cavity. If we're able to move a finger or an arm, if we're able to smell, to taste, to hear, able to open our eyes and see, then whatever else we need, that power is right there. Where do you need it? Where do you need it? The power of God, the mind of God, the presence of God, the healing essence of God does not care about a diagnosis. Cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, whatever. If we can label anything and everything. But what do we believe the power of God to do for us, through us, as us? What we contemplate, we become. We must seek that which is constantly saying, behold. God is saying, I am here. Whatever you need, I am here. Martell and I was talking about this yesterday, that we try to be there for everybody, for everything. And not everything is our business. God is here. God is there. God is everywhere for everything that is needed for a fulfilling life. Take a deep breath. It's constantly saying, behold me. Meaning, I am here. What do you need? God is here to take our order. The law is here to fulfill it. Ernest Holmes said we should daily feel a deeper union with life, a greater sense of that indwelling God, the God of the seen and of the unseen. That's within each of us. So we're talking about speaking our word affirmatively and then visioning that word, that desire, that dream, that demonstration of truth, expressing itself through each of us. What good is a dream and a desire and a word spoken if it has no outlet? Breathe. When we're talking about visioning, we're talking about seeing something through God's eyes, as God's heart, not through the human. We're the greatest of God's creation. But character, personality, judgment, fear, doubt, worry, all the things that come with our humanness may block our spiritual vision of God as you, as me. So we come together. I would pray every day during the week, but particularly on Wednesdays, Mondays, Tuesdays, Sundays, to unblock, to open ourselves to surrender, to be free, that God can use us. Visioning is activated by our willingness to show up, as we do on Wednesdays, to be the place where God's idea of itself has a place to be. That's within our consciousness, within our heart, and within this body temple. Visioning is activated by our willingness to show up, to be the place where God's idea of itself, because God shows up fully armored, equipped with everything needed for the full expression of a dream, of a desire, of technology, of a cure, a solution, an answer, a reunion. That's what God does. And our vision activates that within our lives. Breathe. Visioning allows us to align ourselves with divine wisdom. It allows us to sense. That means feel it, not with your hands, but within yourself. When they say sense, it means to feel it on the inside, to sense the thought of God rather than the thought of man, the thought of the appearance, the thought of the feeling, the thought of what we may be going or growing through. So to sense God, to sense the vision of God, is to sense it within. That means that something within me is working to demonstrate on the outer, no different than a seed. The seed already contains within it the power to be, the demonstration to be God's idea of it. I feel like this should be a Sunday sermon. And so the seed sits in the soil. And then the seed starts to open up. And then it moves the roots, the veininess of it, and that's our belief and faith, into universal soil. And then it starts to move. And that's what should keep us truly alive in consciousness. Not just physically alive, but truly alive in consciousness, is that we can look at nature and see what it does. So when that seed opens, and it could be a fruit, a vegetable, a tree, a flower, and so many other things, it starts to move in as what it is to be. And when we open and stay there, just stay open for God, not be swayed back and forth by appearances, voices, we emerge as what we're to be. That perfect demonstration of God as you, as me. Take a deep breath. Breathe that in. Let it just sit and migrate and germinate with you. Visioning is a part of our God consciousness unfolding and allowing us to see with an inner eye, an inner ear, to allow the heart to open and not hold any hurt, any regret, any pain. It opens for the newness of God's love. Visioning is forming that partnership with that great I am. I am one with all the good that there is. I am one with my Creator. I am one with my Father. And then it's about expanding our potential. This month's theme is expanding our infinite possibilities, going swimming, going fishing in the pool of infinite possibilities. And then allowing chapter 12, spiritual mind healing, to rise up, to bubble up. I am healed spiritually by right of consciousness. Breathe. We often talk about visualization. That's good as well. Visualization is about us saying what we want and then setting the law in motion. The difference between visualization and visioning is a difference between directing the law to serve and work for us, because it's our maid, it's our butler, but the difference of allowing spirit. So that means when we don't know what to do, when we don't have the answer, when we don't have the solution, when we are hearing the diagnosis just turn over in our mind, there is that thing that knows the truth, and it speaks it through us, as us, in us. You're not sick. You're whole, perfect, and complete because you're my daughter. You're my son. You don't lack anything because you have a divine inheritance that will serve and give everything you need. You're not limited because I've created you in my image and likeness to go forth. Open the mind, open the heart, open the infinite possibilities. Breathe. As the seed, remember everything in your desire, everything in your need, everything in your dream is already contained in it. We don't have to run around finding anybody, doing anything other than what God leads us, guides us to do. The seed sits in the soil, awaiting spiritual wisdom to open at the perfect time, the right time, the divine time. And then it moves according to the assignment, purpose. To see as God sees will transform us, transform our life. So that's when our powers, our 12 powers, 12 disciples, strength, and courage, to move, to be able to change, to not fight against it, to not be fearful of it, but to see God in it. God accompanies us every step of the way. Doesn't mean that it won't be moments, days, or a season that we wander. For the Israelites, divine ideas wandered for 40 years. So it doesn't mean that we won't wander, but we don't beat ourselves up because of it. We make sure we maneuver ourselves through it, that we arrive at the light, in the light. So utilize those powers. Be ready for the change, because things, life, people will remain. They will be there. But it's us being led and guided by God to make the changes for our lives. Sometimes we wait on people to change, which we think gives us permission to change. But that's why God created us individualized. God is going to speak to you, speak to me, speak to us in a different way, to bring us together, to lift up the truth, to be in harmony with peace, with love, with joy, with power, with creativity. The reason we vision is to allow ourselves to surrender our mind to the greater mind of God. And it's already within us. We just need to surrender. We don't have to search for it. We don't have to purchase it. We just need to surrender to it. And then allow it to use that part of ourselves that activates a bigger spiritual picture. Think about that. Surrendering our mind to the greater mind of God, and then let it use that part of us that activates that bigger spiritual picture. So that means whatever your soul is calling to do, whatever my soul is calling me to do, I'm surrendering right now. And when I surrender, activator, God has room to move. God has room to inspire, to live, to motivate. God knows that we're being led and guided, and so it opens doors and windows. Every time we vision, every time we take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever your body tempo allows you to do, more of the vision comes to us. Whatever you spend time on, you are cultivating it. Remember, what we contemplate, we become. So I pray. I speak my word. I am whole, perfect, and complete. My cells, my organs, my body responds to the truth of my being. That God's energy, healing power is moving through everything. I go beyond appearances. And I sit with truth. I go beyond appearances and I affirm. I go beyond appearances. I think like, I speak like, I move like. That healing power of God is within me, for it is. I move beyond what the news say, what my relatives say, what my neighbors say. Respect it, don't have to accept it. Take a deep breath. I know that there is a power for good in my body, in my mind, in my heart, in the soul of who I am, in my home, in my relationships, in my community. There's a power for good. There's a power for good working in my state, in my country, on this planet. There's a power for good working even through those that may not see life the way I see it, that may not agree with what I say. I may not agree with what they say, but there is a power under that, over that, in that I don't have to argue. I don't have to stay on the phone too long. I don't have to text that much. I don't have to email often. I can truly just be an example of what God is in me. Take a deep breath. All the means of communication is absolutely, in technology, absolutely excellent. Absolutely the mind of God. But when it does not bring us peace, when it does not open our mind to hear the voice of God, when it's an argument, when it's a hostile disagreement, I guess that's an argument. I can digress. I can pull back, and I can always open myself up for the mind of God, because when we argue, we're not talking about healthy disagreements. I agree to disagree. We're not talking about that, because we're not all going to see things the same way. Clearly, we can see that now. Take a deep breath. But when I can allow myself to hear something that is not promoting peace and joy, unity and love, I can move. I can hang up. I can stop texting. I can stop emailing. And I can sit with that brings me peace, joy, creative new ideas, unity, patience, understanding, spiritual awareness. I can do all the attributes. I can facilitate all the principles. That I'm standing on the mountaintop and feeling the light of God. We have the opportunity to do that every moment of every day. Take a deep breath. Every day is a day that the Lord has made. And every day, every morning that we awaken to it is our opportunity to make a spiritual, loving, joyful difference. Be loving. Whatever the question, love is the answer. Even in the challenging times, because that's when it's truly asking you, do you believe in me? Do you believe in my love? Because I've loved you through all. God has loved us through all of our stuff. And God is asking us to love our folk through all of their stuff. Each one, teach one. Take a deep breath. This is not the first crazy rodeo of our planet. It won't be the last. And each generation have made their way through. Yes, some people took flight. Yes, some people are still tormented in consciousness. But we have the opportunity, prayer and visioning family, to make a difference in the way we operate in this spiritual journey, in the example that we set for those that God sends our way, for our church family, for our community. We have the privilege to demonstrate what healing looks like, what the power of God acts like, what the joy of God feels like, and what the oneness of God is like. I ask that we feel all of that. That we truly allow what we say we believe, what we listen to weekly, what we read about daily, weekly, monthly, however it works for you. And what we feel God's life in us is like to family, friends, community, planet. We are here for a divine purpose. If we're going to get caught up in anything, let it be that God says. Take a deep breath. Breathe it in. Let it out. Breathe it in. Let it out. Then affirm. And amen. A hallelujah. And so it is.